Hi, Elvis. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this video with me. I'm really excited about sharing your success here with the people watching. Elvis Huerta from Los Angeles County. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Elvis, you recently took 2 expired listings, yes?
Yes.
And when I heard about it, I'm like, wow, that's so cool, because you listed one, was it 3 weeks ago, and then another one the following week, like really recently, yes?
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons why I asked you to do this video, because I want the viewers to learn from what you did to actually list those properties. But I was even more impressed because you told me these were the first 2 expireds you ever listed. Did I get that correctly?
That's correct. So, I mean, it's been a process for me. I think what's more impressive, I know it's impressive for you, right? You have a training platform, you have a company that you're running, right? That you expect these results.
Yes.
For me, it's actually far more impressive because I've never done cold calling before. And
Okay.
for me to be able to get appointments, listings, confidence, listing presentation learned, to me, that's far more impressive because now
Well,
I can scale.
and kind of really quickly, right? When did you join my Sales X training?
I want to say that I physically signed up at the end of April, but didn't really start. It's a lot of information. That where do I start? How do I do it? What should I focus on? And and I was a little dancing around the area for about 2 weeks, the first week of May. And it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't until I got the rhythm of what I should focus on that I really started building the confidence. And then I started making massive phone calls. Then I started getting appointments that would cancel. And then I would get appointments that I would actually go on. And so it's been a process for me. But yeah, to answer your
Yeah.
question, at the beginning of May.
Okay. So we're now mid-July, so about 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Okay. So Elvis, correct me here. You said you were impressed because you never cold called before.
Correct.
I thought you actually did. You have called expireds. You did call them before.
I did. So for me, the whole journey started back in November when I knew that I couldn't depend on my referrals, my sphere of influence, and I didn't know anything else other than the biggest company. Maybe I'm not saying they're successful. I'm just saying they're the only ones that I knew about. And so I joined their one-on-one coaching. I did that in November of last year, all the way until April. And I applied their scripts. I applied all their scripts, particularly expired for sale by owners.
Mm-hmm.
And it just didn't click. It didn't click for whatever reason. It didn't feel like me. I joined, I would go to their seminars. Some of them even build online, I guess, cold calling centers where you would go in there on a Zoom meeting or on a Zoom link, and everybody else from that organization would call. And I would see the communication, the way they did it. It just wasn't Elvis. It wasn't. It just didn't feel like me. Either they were far too aggressive, maybe even to the point where they were rude and inconsiderate, that I couldn't go that route. So I started searching for other platforms, and my one of my buddies that I make phone calls with, he actually told me about you. The
Hmm.
minute I watched one of the videos, I was like, this is it. Her vibe, how she is, how she comes across, it's all
Yeah.
about helping people. And for me, that's what really landed for me. I joined right away and I felt like I was at home.
Oh, that's so cool. You never told me that. So that like that. That's so nice. Anyway, enough of the, heartwarming party here. What was it that you think clicked with you? Because you're saying, I understand you said the other scripts were too aggressive. My approach is not necessarily passive at all. It is aggressive, but so what is it that you got from me, or the scripts and the approach,
Mhm.
that clicked with you, that made sense, and that started getting you results?
Well, for one, the very first video that I had watched, everything was about setting the appointment first. I mean, and I think about it from my perspective. If someone called me and started asking me all kinds of random questions, where are you going to? Why? You know, these type of questions here that are like, really, I don't know you, and I'm not obligated to tell you over the phone. And I would imagine that other people felt the same way. The most important thing in an expired is, you know, you want to sell the property, and you want somebody that's confident. So let's get that out of the way first. Let's get the appointment first, and then we start. So that was one of the biggest things that worked for me. Not asking random strangers questions about their finances or about their personal goals, right? Let's build some rapport. Let's see if we can set an appointment if they're still interested, and then we can talk about those pre-qualification the pre-qual questions afterwards.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, and you said you did use these other scripts that ask a bunch of questions, but you weren't actually setting appointments.
I wasn't. And I did that for, I would say that in January of this year is when I started using those other scripts. From January through April, call me dumb, whatever it is, right? It just didn't land on me. And I would be forcefully doing these phone calls, asking these questions here that just never felt right.
Right.
And I'm just super thankful, right? I mean, that I ran across your platform, right? Your platform is actually another level that if it wasn't for that, the building of the confidence, the mindset, uh, you have no idea what that did to me. And I was on the, I mean, I had to create a routine to be able to squeeze in all these learning modules that you have, right? Your mindset, dominating the market, all these things were important that I couldn't just do that all at once at the end of the day. I had to fit them in. I have a family to take care of, and I had to fit them into my schedule. So when I would go to the gym, I would get on the treadmill for 10 minutes. I would listen to the first video, mindset. Then I would go to dominate your market when I'm in the sauna or stretching. I had to fit them into my schedule in order to make it work. When I got into my office, that was a whole nother routine. But the platform is excellent. It
Oh,
builds my confidence to another level to be able to make the scripts. And the scripts are so simple. Set the appointment first
yep.
and then go to the next step.
There you go. Absolutely. What is it specifically that you think help you build your confidence? Because if you're not confident in what you're doing, how are you going to make somebody feel confident to give you an appointment? So what is it that you learned? What did you hear that build that confidence for you?
All right. So I'm going to talk from a man's perspective right now. Okay.
Yes. I don't know
So,
what's coming, but go ahead.
okay, this is good. This is going to be good though. Okay. And I'm sure it applies for women as well, right? As you're, and picture this, as you're growing up, you have a mother that's taking care of you and building you up, telling you, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Your focus is, you're going to be successful. I repeatedly heard your voice over and over and over and over again. That's what really built my confidence to actually take a step forward.
Mm,
Whatever it is,
mm.
make the phone call, learn the script, learn the listing presentation, go to the listing presentation. Now, imagine me walking forward with that confidence. Like to know that Elvis, you can actually do it. Like have zero doubt you can actually do it. And that's really that motherly talk that really built me up. And I learned that from our Tuesday, Thursday presentations, right when we get together
Yeah.
on the dominate the market mindset. Those are I just heard it over and over and over again. That's what really built my confidence.
Okay, cool. I'll take it. That was good. Okay. Mindset, because there's an entire day on Sales X where they're all mindset, mental toughness lessons. What are some of the things, what kind of gems did you pick up that you can offer the viewers that has helped you build your confidence?
Oh, it's so much stuff. It's built me who I am, and I think knowing that you can actually set a qualified listing appointment today, right? You can wake up in the morning, you can get into the office and make the phone call, and you can actually do it. Like
Mm.
that right there is the biggest thing for me.
Elvis, I love what you said because my entire platform is designed around that, setting one qualified listing appointment a day. So that was a great answer.
Yeah.
There are a lot of coaches and trainers out there that are not focused on their clients setting appointments. They're telling their clients to, follow up on your leads. You're going to get a bunch of leads. You got to have a follow up plan. You got to stay in touch with these people. Go preview property, build rapport, and then you follow up. What would you say to all of that?
You're gonna get whatever you think, you're gonna get that. I rather think that I can get an appointment today and go out there and take the listing and come back and put it on the MLS. I rather think that because I've seen it. It's possible. I did it. Even up until now, I'm learning. I'm learning how to do this. Right. My goal is to eventually have 4 well-priced listings a week. And
Yeah.
I can do that knowing that I can set on average, one qualified listing appointment a day.
Absolutely. What time do you start making calls?
My goal is always a little bit before 8 o'clock, like 7:50. That's my goal because the number of expires, canceled, withdrawn, or maybe about 10, 15 minute worth of calls the first run. And
Hmm.
so if I can get them in before 8 o'clock, I do that.
Okay. And to what time do you make calls?
Well, the goal is always up until 12 o'clock. We're making phone calls. So am I perfect? No, I'm building a habit. Just like I build my confidence, I'm building the habit of taking massive action up until 12 o'clock every single day.
Mm.
And it's a challenge sometimes. It really is. But I know that I'm not going to, and you talk about this, right, on the mindset. Don't beat yourself up. If you didn't do it, you get to start right now or you get to start tomorrow again. And let's keep moving.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I think is really critical, with this setting one qualified listing appointment for you, you listed two expireds recently where you had never. These were the first two expireds you listed in your real estate career. So now you have those successes under your belt. Yes?
Yes.
So I
For
talk
sure.
about that too. In those moments when, I mean, until you have the success, you got to kind of borrow my belief. I talk about that too. I know you can do it. I know anyone can do it, but you got to borrow my belief because if you're sitting there not believing you can do it, but now you've done it.
Yeah.
So when you have those moments of, or those days and those hours when people are hanging up, there's no answer. You like that. The successes, if you keep reminding yourself of it, will keep you going. I trust that you're doing that.
Yeah. That and on top of that too, right? There's a lot of little nuggets that have been incorporated into my life. For instance, the affirmations, whatever goals you have, right? These affirmations, to be able to repeat them all day long. When I wake up in the morning, I for 5 minutes lay in bed and I repeat these affirmations in my head over and over and over and over
Yeah.
again. If I'm having some downtime and I'm not feeling so well about the phone calls, I'm repeating this. I'm walking from my car to the office and I'm feeling like I'm dragging my feet. No, I'm a strong, masculine, successful businessman of God. And I start
Oh my
repeating these affirmations over and over and over again.
I love that. And you said when you wake up in the morning, you start doing affirmations. Everything in life is a result of what you believe. Yeah. And by doing these affirmations, especially when you first wake up in the morning, because your mind is so open, you haven't started getting distracted by whatever is coming that day. So it's a really, really great time to do it. Elvis, what advice would you give for brand new agents that are afraid of actually picking up the phone and calling expired listings?
Hmm.
I
I
mean,
was in that.
have you ever felt that way? You've
Oh,
had that fear?
absolutely. Yeah, I would say even as I was learning these other scripts, right, I felt that way where I didn't want to make the phone calls. But the minute I got into your platform, I was okay making phone calls. And one of the things that stands out the most is that if I would have in the past, right, where we're talking about before I ran across your platform, if I would see a for sale by owner or an expired listing on while I'm driving, I would be hesitant to stop by because I wouldn't know what to say.
Hmm.
But now it's different. I would actually door knock the expired because I know what to say. And so a lot of the things that as new agents, we're afraid to do things because we don't know what to say or what to do or how to
Sure.
handle it. Do we
Yes.
know what script to use? Do we even know who we're talking to? Is it an expired or is it circle prospecting? Right. And
Hmm.
I know that in our platform, where expired and for sale by owners is really where it's at. They're the individuals that, if anybody that's a new agent wants immediate business, expired and for sale by owners. And so knowing what to say is huge. It's big. And
Yeah,
so
absolutely,
yeah,
100%. Hey, I've done a lot of circle prospecting, especially in the first years of my real estate career. I have nothing against that. Those are actually good calls after you've called all the expireds and FISBOs you can call.
exactly.
Because
Yeah,
why would you circle prospect or just call just as sold to find somebody who wants to sell? Well, let's first talk to the people that we know are selling, and then we can go to everybody else because those are more long-term leads. So you make some of those calls too?
I do. I do. And so I mean I also have other ways of getting business, right? I deal with probates,
Mm.
my sphere of influence.
Yes.
There's systems that have in place, but like you said, my priority, I would say 50% of my priority in the calls that I make is always, I'm always thinking expired. Those are the individuals I need to do something now. And not only calling them once, right? If I really want to get a hold of these people, why would I only call once? The
Right.
idea is to call them over and over throughout the day. That there's a system, right? And there's statistics that show when these individuals are going to relist. So my urgency is always on my day ones, my new expires.
Elvis, you said something. You said, it seemed to me like the end of last year when you joined that other coaching company one on one, you were really only working your past client sphere and the probates. What caused you to have this change of mindset? Like, I got to do something different. What was it about what was happening?
Well, I before I started any coaching program, I wanted measurable business. I
Mm.
wanted to know that if I do this, this, and this, whether I'm door knocking or making phone calls, after so many calls or contacts, I'm getting results. I didn't have that before. And so that's why I joined that organization. And then I started making expired phone calls in January of this year in hopes that I can build those numbers up to know what my results were going to be. But in those 4 months, I didn't even get an appointment.
Yeah.
And so that was surprising that I kept so long with it, right? Before I jumped ship. I should have jumped ship a long time ago. But I'm glad that I found it. And after that, it's a process, right? And for all the new agents that are out there, because you had asked me, what would I say to the new agents?
Right. Yes.
Everything is a process. Initially, you're going to get comfortable making phone calls because now you know what to say. After that confidence is built, you're going to start kind of landing appointments. They may be good, they may be bad, right? But you'll improve on the type of appointments based on the qualification that you do over the phone before you go. And
Oh.
then you're going to start going on to these listing appointments with confidence because you're learning the listing presentation. Once you start that process, and so for me, it's always very systematical, right? And the phase that I'm at right now is that I'm getting the appointments and I'm getting listings, right? That's kind of where I'm at. And from here is like, okay, well, let's get them sold now. But like you said, this happened a couple weeks ago, so now we're waiting for the closings and then get them into escrows. And not only that, building myself to be able to land 1 to 2 appointments a day on average.
Exactly. It's maintaining that consistency because, hey, great success, but it happened already. We every day we're looking for a new one. Yes.
That's
Okay,
correct. Yeah,
beautiful.
it's
So
exciting.
it's a process. And even the other company you were with and the scripts that didn't work, it serves as a contrast, right? So you're like, okay, this is the direction that I need to go. So it's all worthwhile, all learning experience.
Yeah, for sure. I'm
Beautiful.
super excited of where I'm headed, the direction that we're headed, and I know for a fact that there's nothing but success. Qualified listing appointment every day, 4 well-priced listings per week. Like that's exactly the direction that I'm headed.
Wow, I love that. Coming right out of my mouth into yours. That's
Yeah,
beautiful. I love it. I know it's coming, Elvis. Thank you so
yeah.
much. for
Yeah,
doing this with me today. I really appreciate it.
my pleasure. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, thank you.